Hello friends, welcome back to automationtestinginsider.com. In the last video we are done with TestNG tutorials and from today onwards we'll discuss about Maven. So today I'll talk about introduction to Maven and I'll show you how to set up Maven in your project in Eclipse. Okay, how to download Maven and how to set up the plugins and how to create the project. We'll discuss about it. Okay, so let's get started. So Maven is build and project management tool developed by Apache Software Foundation. Initially, it is released on 13 July 2004, and it is written in Java language and used to build and manage projects written in other languages like C#, Ruby, Python, etc. Okay, it helps to build projects, dependencies, and documentation. Its development process is very similar to Ant. However, it is much advanced than Ant. So Ant is another build tool. Okay, we have Gradle as well. So these are some other build tools. The main feature of Maven is that it can download the project dependencies libraries automatically. Okay, I'll show you. We'll discuss in detail like how it downloads dependencies. So I have created a post on this already. If you go to my blog automationtestinginsider.com, and here we have Maven introduction and setup. So if you go to Selenium tutorial, and here you can find out all the Selenium WebDriver related topics. So these are all Selenium WebDriver. We have TestNG tutorials. Here I have created blog on all the topics, and here we go Maven tutorials. So already I have created a post on this Maven introduction and setup. So this is that post. Okay, so what is build tool? So the build tool is used to set up everything which is required to run your Java code independently. Okay, so here I have given the example of Java code. As we have discussed earlier, like it can manage projects written in other languages as well, right? And it generates source code, compiling the code and packaging the code to a jar, etc. So this is basic, I would say basic feature of build tool. It generates source code, compiling the code and packaging the code to jar file. So this is build process, guys. Okay, so Maven is a build project management tool, okay, based on the concept of project object model, POM. Okay, so it is based on POM, contains information of project and configuration information for the Maven to build the project, such as dependencies, build directory, source directory, test source directory, plugins, etc. Okay, so we'll talk about project object model, POM file later on in detail. Okay, so this is not that POM page object model. Okay, this is different. This is project object model. So basically this is based on pom.xml. Probably you might have heard that. Okay, so Maven provides a common platform to perform these activities, which makes programmers' life easier while handling the huge project. Okay, so why do we need to use Maven in our project? Okay, so there are some common problems. Okay, and yeah, so problem of multiple jars. So let's say we are using a couple of frameworks in our code. So if you remember, we have used TestNG framework in our code. Since we have done with TestNG tutorials, so we have used TestNG framework in our code. And for instance, Selenium server. So these are some other jar files: Selenium server, TestNG, JXL or POI library, Apache POI library, etc. So these are different frameworks, right? TestNG we have already used. JXL is to read the data from Excel file. Whenever you are you're working with whenever you work with Excel sheet, then you might need JXL or Apache POI library. Okay, so for that you require jar files, right? So in order to use this framework within application, I need to include all the required jars in my application. I need to make them available. Okay, so If you remember, for let's say this cross browser demo, so what we have done, we have manually added the plugins, TestNG plugins, right? We have Selenium Java jar files as well to set up this project earlier. So since we are not using Maven, so we have to set up all these jar files uh, manually, right click on this project, and we have build path and configure build path, and adding all the jar files from here. Now when we use Maven, so we don't need to add manually those jar files. Okay, so we can add through pom.xml. So this is sample pom. Already I have created a project, pom.maven test project. So this is Maven pom.xml. So here you can see, anyways, I'll create another project, don't worry about that. So here we have pom.xml. Okay, so here you can see TestNG. I have added dependency of TestNG. So if you add dependency like this, then this is the version of TestNG. The TestNG will be downloaded automatically. You need to just add dependencies in your pom.xml, and when you do Control S, automatically it will be downloaded from central repository. We'll discuss like what is central repository, what is a local repository. And yeah, this is one of the problems. Okay, second problem is sometimes we miss out on some jars, sometimes we don't know what jars are needed. So Maven helps us on this aspect. Okay, dependencies and versions. So we know, let's say we have a particular jar and that jar has dependent on other jar. Okay, then I need to make sure all my dependencies are closed or added, right? I need to make sure I have supplied all the required dependencies. Sometimes we don't know like which kind of jar files required. Some of jar files might dependent on some other jars. Okay, so it is very difficult if you do it manually. Maven provides pom.xml, as we have discussed, which is core of any project. This is the configuration file where all the required informations are kept. So this is pom.xml. Okay, and yeah, Maven downloads the dependency jar from central repository. Most of the commonly used libraries are available in this central repository. So this is the link. So let's say, suppose you want TestNG Maven dependency, right? So just search in Google TestNG Maven dependency and just open this, the first one. So Maven repository. So this is the central link, central repository of Maven. Here we'll get all kind of jar files, whatever we are needed. Okay, all should be available here, all are available here, right? So Maven downloads the dependency jar from a central repository. So this is central repository where all jar files are available. Most of the commonly used libraries are available in this one. Okay, the user has to configure the remote repository in pom.xml. So dependency, in the form of dependency, we have to configure in your pom.xml to download from the remote repository. Below is the example of configuring a remote repository to pom.xml. Okay, I'll show you how to configure this. What is the usage in Selenium? Okay, so we can create Maven project for writing script and create dependency using pom.xml. Once dependency is set, Maven will download all the dependent jar files automatically, and in future if any update comes from Selenium or TestNG, so it will simply update all the required changes automatically. Okay, we need to just update the version. So suppose, let's say tomorrow I may need another version of TestNG, let's say 7. You can see here we have different versions of Selenium TestNG, right? So this is 7.1.0 is available here. So 247 users downloaded already, uses. Okay, and these are the beta versions of 7, and this is mostly used 6.4 14.3. okay, so if you open this, So you'll get dependency like this. So simply what you need to do is you have to just copy this dependency and add this into your pom.xml. So automatically your TestNG will be downloaded. I'll show you how to download, how to add dependency later on. Okay, so yeah, so general phrase used in Maven. Okay, so what are those? We have group ID. So generally group ID refers to domain ID. For best practices, company name is used as group ID. It identifies the project uniquely. So we have group ID. Here you can see we have group ID. While creating the Maven project, you need this information. So we have group ID. Okay, and here you can see in the jar file also, because this is kind of project, right? TestNG. So here we have used group ID org.testng. This is company name, right? I mean the project name. And second one is artifact ID. So what is artifact ID? It is basically the name of the jar without version. So artifact ID is the jar of the name of the jar. Okay, jar file name. And third is version name. So this is the version name. And fourth one is scope. So that is optional. This tag is used to create the version of the project. So these three are very important. And local repository. What is local repository? Maven downloads all the required dependencies and stores in the local repository called M2. So I'll show you. C drive, if you go to users and not public, users, and here we have M2 directory. Okay, so here you will see all the jar files will be downloaded. Okay, this is a local repository. What is Maven build life cycle? So this is very important and interview point of view as well. Basic Maven phases are used as below. So we have clean, that deletes all artifacts and targets which are created already. Okay. We have clean, and we have compile, used to compile the source code of the project. We have test the compiled code, and these tests do not require to packaged or deployed. So just to test the source code. Package is used to convert your project into a jar or war file. Okay, and finally install the package into a local repository for the use of another project. So this is the complete life cycle of Maven. Now let's have a look how to download and install and set up Maven in your Eclipse. Okay, so first of all we need to download and install we need to download Maven first of all. So to set up Maven, download the Maven's latest version from Apache, depending upon different operating system. So here we have one link from maven.apache.org. So if you are using Windows system, then you have to download this one, 3.6.3 bin.zip. So version of Maven is 3.6.6.3. okay, already actually I have downloaded. So but here I have written all these steps one by one. Okay, so download required as per OS. So you have to download this one and extract the file and place it in C drive. Okay, so you will get file like this. I'll show you like this, Apache Maven 3.6.3 -bin. So simply you have to extract that and just put that file in your C drive program files, and here we have Maven. Okay, so here I have given the path as well. You can give any name, but it's better to give Maven, so you can give name like this. Okay, once we have downloaded all what we need to do is, before starting using Maven, we have to set the couple of environment variables. So how to set up the environment variables? So go to right click on computer, my computer, properties, and here we have advanced system settings. Just click on that, and here we have environment variable. So there are two setup we have to do. The first one is, first you need to set the new variable. Okay, from system variable, here we have system variables. So from here we have to create new. Click on new. Okay, and you have to set up Maven home. Like this, you have to give variable name Maven home and variable value as your Maven path. Okay, and what next? We have to just click on OK and apply. Okay, click on OK again. Next, we need to add the bin folder to the path. Select the path in the system variable and click on add it. So second one is path, where we have to give our bin folder path. So bin and then semicolon at the end. I mean colon. Oh, sorry, semicolon. Yeah. So we have to give the bin path of our Maven. So that is so these are the two system variables we have to set up. And how to check whether Maven is installed or not? Okay. So what you need to do is, you have to go to command prompt, and we have a command called maven-version. Okay, so that will tell you the version of Maven. So 3.6.3 you can see here. I have given the screenshot as well. Okay, now the another thing is, we have to we are working with Eclipse, right? So we should make sure that we have Maven Eclipse plugin as well. Okay, so generally in today's the Eclipse version, we already have Maven Eclipse plugins. Okay, so how to check that? So if you go to help and we have install new software, just click on that. Here we have already installed link, so just click on that. Eclipse Maven, you can search here. Here you can see M2E Maven integration for Eclipse. So this should be there. Okay, so this is how you can configure Maven in Eclipse. As per the below image, click on already installed. So this is how I have added the screenshots in the same way which I have explained. Yeah, so this is how you can set up Maven in Eclipse. Now I'll create new project. So how to create new project? File, new, and you have to select project, and here you can see in these folders we have Maven, right? So Maven, and here we have Maven project. Just click on next. We are going to create a simple project. Now we have to provide the group ID. So what I'll give, com dot project name, right? So test Maven project, and artifact ID I'll keep the same, or let's give test Maven project. Okay, click on finish. So here you can see my Maven project is created, and I'll get the project structure like this. We have src main Java, src main resources. So we'll keep all our main classes inside this src main Java. Okay, and test related things will add here, src test Java. Resources related will keep over here. We'll discuss in details like what are resources, what kind of files we need to keep inside this, what are the files we need to keep inside the test package. Okay, and this is related to test resources. Okay, and here we have pom.xml. So this is basic structure of pom Maven project. So this is okay, so this is the group ID, the project which we have created, right? Maven com.maven test Maven project, and this is artifact ID. Now I want to add dependency. Okay, so how to add? So here inside project tag we have dependencies tag. Okay, so suppose I want TestNG in this project. Okay, so how to add? So I have added dependencies tag here, and from here this remote repository you can get these dependencies, right? TestNG dependency. So simply you have to copy and you have to keep inside dependency tag. Control Shift F. Now if you put Control S, here you can see all Maven dependency related, I mean Java TestNG jar files are downloaded. Okay, so let me show you again. So if you delete this, one second, remove from build path, it is removed now. Now if I click Control S, automatically that Maven dependency file plugin will be added. So Control S, one second, what happens? We have to update the project. Yeah, here you can see Maven dependencies. Okay, and here you see TestNG jar files. Okay, so this is how you can add dependency in your test. So this is one dependency. In the next video I'll talk about I will create one Maven project, or I'll use the same project and I'll create some test cases, and we'll see how to execute test cases using Maven. Here you can see, if you right click on project and Maven, sorry, run as we have these options, right? Maven build, okay, Maven clean, Maven install, Maven generate sources, Maven test. Okay, so how to use these different commands I'll show you in the next video. Okay, so let me just recap. So today we have just seen the introduction of Maven, and we have seen how to set up Maven in your Eclipse. Okay, and this is the post which I have created. You can go through this and you can refer the other blogs, other posts which I have created in my blog. Okay, Selenium Tutorials. Already I have covered Selenium WebDriver and TestNG Tutorials, and Java for Selenium, and some other topics as well. Recently I have added Selenium Java questions as well, so you can go through this. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe this channel. Thanks a lot. Bye. Hello friends, welcome back to automationtestinginsider.com. So in the last video we have seen introduction of Maven and how to download and install Maven in your Eclipse. Okay, how to set up with Eclipse we have seen in the last video. Now today we are going to talk about Maven project, how to set up Maven project, and I will discuss about Maven Life Cycle, and we'll execute our test cases using Maven. Okay, so let's get started. So this is the agenda for today. So we'll discuss, we'll set up a Maven project, and we'll add different dependencies in our project. Like as of now we need Selenium Java and TestNG plugins, jar files. Okay, so we'll discuss about Maven Life Cycle. What are the different stages of Maven Life Cycle, because this is very important part of Maven. and we'll discuss about different plugins as well at the same time. And at last I'll show you how to execute our test cases through Maven using different Maven commands. From we'll execute our test cases from command line, command prompt, and through Eclipse as well. Okay, so let's first discuss about Maven Life Cycle. What are the different stages in Maven Life Cycle? So we have clean. So what it does, that deletes all the artifacts and targets which are created already. Okay, all existing uh, artifacts and targets will be deleted by using clean. Okay, so for that we have clean command. Okay, so these are the different stages, and here I have written the different commands which we are going to see with the help of demo. Okay, and these are the different stages of Maven life cycle. So we have clean, first we have discussed. The second one is compile, used to compile the source code of the project. Okay, so in our case that will compile the Java source code of the project, and that will be done using Maven compiler. Okay, so there are different plugins, okay, uh, which require to do all the tasks like clean. So we have Maven clean. Here I have not written. Maven clean compiler is there. For compilation we need Maven compiler. Okay, the third is test the compiled code, and these tests do not require to be packaged or deployed. Okay, so just for testing purpose, that test could be anything, your unit test or integration test. So yeah, that will be the testing will be done Maven, that is done using Maven Surefire plugin. So this is another plugin. And package is used to convert your project into jar, EAR, or var. So jar is yeah, Java archive files. Okay, jars. And we have EAR, enterprise archives, and var is for web. We are not going into the details of these files, but the package, the task of this stage is to uh, convert into different files. Okay, or that is built only. Okay, that will be given to the development team or testing team, and that will be done using Maven resources plugin. The plugin is called Maven resources plugin. And at last we have install the package into local repository for the use of another project. Okay, so that will be used by another project, or we can use it later on. Okay, so this is the different stages life uh, in the life cycle of Maven. Okay, so and yeah, this is very important. If you go for an interview, definitely they will ask the Maven related, when they will ask about Maven, definitely they will ask about Maven lifecycle as well. Okay, so this is complete build process. Since Maven is build tool, so this is complete build process, and these are the different commands we are going to use. So we have Maven clean. So what it does, this command cleans the Maven project by deleting the target directory. Okay, we have Maven compiler. This command compiles the Java source classes of the Maven project. Okay. Package. Okay, and we have install. And yeah, we'll see different commands when we use through command line when we run our project. So let's first create Maven project. Okay, in the last video already I have created a project, test Maven project. Or let me do one thing, I'll create another project so you can understand. So you have to go to this file, you can go, and a new project. So here once you get into this window, new project, here we have Maven, and select Maven project, click next. So we are going to create a simple project, so just select this, click on next. Here you have to enter test Maven, let's say com.test Maven project, and I'll give the same name here as well. and or simply give here test Maven project artifact ID. So why it is not taking, already exist. Okay, so I'll give, let's give like this only. Okay, and I'll click on finish. So it will take some time, and our project is created here, com.maven test Maven project. And if you open this is our pom.xml, from where we can download different jar files, right, after configuring different dependencies. Okay, so what are the dependencies we required? We need first of all we need Selenium Java jar files, right, WebDriver jar files. So how to get that? So in the last video we have seen central repository from where we can download. So from Google you have to just type Selenium Java dependency, and yeah, this is the site mavenrepository.com. so simply you can open this, and yeah, these are the different versions of Selenium Java jar files. So here we can see Selenium 4 is already rolled out, the alpha version, but here we'll take uh, this one, Selenium 3. Okay, so this is the dependency we need to copy. Okay, and simply inside project tag we have to use this, and before that we need dependencies tag. Inside dependencies tag we have to add the dependency. Okay, now when we do the control S, Maven dependencies will be already, all the jar files will be downloaded. Here you can see Selenium Java 3.1.4 3.141. okay, similarly we need TestNG. so what we'll do, we need TestNG. so simply you can type here TestNG Maven dependency, and simply you have to open this link, and I'll take this one. This is very stable one, so I'll take this 6.14, and I'll use TestNG, this TestNG dependency. Okay, so this is how we can download jar files, and inside dependency tag we have to add this. Now again do control S. So the moment when you do control S, all the jar files will be downloaded. So let's have a look whether it is downloaded or not. So here you can see TestNG is downloaded here 6.14. so this is how you can configure dependencies in your pom.xml, and automatically it will download all the dependencies, all the jar files. Okay, so this is the biggest advantage of having Maven in your project. Okay, and you may need different versions tomorrow, right? So you can change the version here, and similarly here as well. Now what I will do, this is done. Now I'll create some test cases. So here we have different folders. So you can see src test java. So generally in src test java we'll have all the test cases. Okay, so that is good practice, and we have whatever resources related to test will keep over here, and our main script will be here in src main java. Okay, so as of now we'll create only test cases. So I'll do one thing, I'll create package over here. I'll create new package here. Yeah, let's say com.testmaven project. So here we have new package, and I'll create test class 1. Okay, click on finish. In this test class 1, I'll create some test cases. So public void test case 1, and simply I'll give some print statement over here. This is test case 1. Let's write like this. This is test case 1. I'll create another test case and one more. So we have 3 test cases in this test class. So guys, I'm not writing any Selenium script over here. I'm just writing some statements by creating some dummy test cases. Okay, and we have to add at the rate test annotation to all the test cases, so that it will be treated as test cases, test methods. Okay, so in this test class 1, we have created three test cases, test case 1, 2 and 3. Now what you can do, you can simply, how we did earlier, you can create you can simply run as TestNG tests like this, and your test cases will be executed through TestNG. So generally in a real-time project we are not going to do like that. Okay, we are not going to execute our test cases from TestNG. So how do you do through Maven? Okay, and another option you will get from here is just to control S. If you right click this project and run as, here you can see all the options. So from here also you can execute, let's say Maven test. So Maven test will be executed from here. First it will do the complete process, the complete life cycle of the project, and later on it will execute the test cases. So this is how you can execute the test cases from total test run 3, failure 0. These are the test cases. Okay, and if you see here, there is no, because we have executed our test cases from Maven, so that's why these results of running class test classes, because this is TestNG. Okay, and here you can see it executes all the stages of life cycle of Maven. Here you can see all the test cases got successfully executed. Now I'll run our test cases from command line. Okay, so generally we are not going to execute our test cases from Eclipse as well, right? So either we have to use we are going to use Jenkins, or from other resources we'll execute our test cases. So let's have a look like how we can execute our test cases from command line. Okay, we have different commands, right? We have seen with that, yeah. So these are the different commands. So we have Maven clean. So this command cleans the Maven project by deleting the target directory. Okay, now what we'll do, will simply will right click this project, and properties will get the path of this project. Okay, because when we run our project through command line we need that. So simply type cmd, and we need to go to first D drive, right? And change directory, we have to simply paste that path, and we have to delete. The idea is to, we have to go first to the root project directory. Okay, so this project directory. Now we are here. Now let's look at the first command. We have mven. So this is the command maven, mven and clean. Okay, just click on enter. press on enter. Okay, so it will clean up the project. Okay, so here you can see this plugin is used to clean the project. Okay, so Maven clean plugin. Now next is, and this will not execute any test cases guys, because we have just clean up the project. And what is the next? We have Maven compiler, so it will compile the source code. So we have Maven and compile. So simply type Maven and compile, click, press on enter. So here we have seen Maven compiler plugin is used. Okay, and what is the third one? We have Maven package, MVN Maven package. So what it does, this command builds the Maven project and packages them into jar or war file. We'll see. So yeah, so that will execute the test cases and it will install the build. Okay, here you can see building jar. Here you can see building jar in this path. Okay, so this command will execute the test cases also. Maven package build the Maven project, because it builds the Maven project and package them into jar or war file. Okay, so here you can see the test cases as well. This is test case 1, 2 and 3. So test case is executed. Here you can see test starts from here. Okay, and build is success. Maven install. Okay, so this command builds the Maven project and install the project files, jar, bar and to the local repository. So you can use this command. Now to test our project, we have two commands. This is very famous one, Maven clean and install. First it will clean up the project by deleting all the target directory, and it will install the project. Okay, it will test the project. So how to execute this? First clean up the screen and mvn clean install. And these are very important commands, because going forward whenever we use other continuous integration tools like Jenkins and all, so we need these commands. Okay, so Maven clean install, just click on, just press enter. So here you can see the complete life cycle will be executed. Now test starts and build is success. Now here you can see we have seen this Maven clean command, Maven clean plugin. Okay, we have Maven resources plugin, we have resources plugin, yes, and compiler plugin to compile the source code of the project, and at last Maven Surefire plugin to execute the test cases. Okay, so this is how we can execute our test cases through Maven command, from command line. And suppose you want to skip the test cases, so what is the command? So this is the command. So there are different commands guys, you can search, and probably going forward I'll come up with different commands as well. But as of now, whatever is required, I'm just showing all those commands as of now. Okay, so what is the next one? How to skip the test cases? Maven package and what is it? Capital D skip tests. Okay, T should be capital test. Okay, and just click enter. It will skip the test cases. It won't execute the test cases. So here you can see, so build is success, but there is it won't execute the test cases. Okay, so generally developer does the same thing. They will just check the build whether it is successfully executed or not. So in this case, because they don't want to they don't have time to execute the test cases. Okay, so simply they will run the build and they will see whether it is getting passed or failed. So in this case build is success. Okay, and now what we'll do, let's create another class, and what we'll do, we'll configure in pom xml, we'll execute our test cases using testng.xml. Okay, and we'll configure our testng.xml in pom xml file, and we'll execute the test cases. Okay, so what we'll do, so here I have only one test case. I'll create another test case, another test class, in fact test class 2. Click on finish. Simply I'll copy couple of test cases. I'll make it test case 3, test case 3, and this is test case 3. This should be, sorry, this should be 4, and this is, oh, already we have 3 test cases here, so I'll make this as test case 5, 4, and this should be 4, 5, and this is 5. Okay, so we have 5 test cases in 2 classes. In test class 1 we have 3 test cases, and test class 2 we have a couple of test cases, 2 test cases. Okay, now we'll do one thing, we'll create testng.xml. so how to create testng.xml? So simply right click on project, and we have TestNG, convert to TestNG. So here you can see this is XML file. Click on finish, and this TestNG.xml you can keep in resources as well. So right now I'm keeping here. Okay, and this is my XML, and it includes both our test classes. Okay, and tomorrow we may add some more test classes here. We may exclude some test cases as well. Okay, so we'll configure our TestNG XML here. Okay, this is how we can configure, and we can exclude and include our test cases accordingly, as we have seen in TestNG tutorials how to include your test or methods. Okay, so this is how you can configure, and probably you may need to configure test listeners as well. So you can configure everything over here. And what I'll do in pom xml, I'll configure our testng.xml. How to do that? So earlier I have done that. So this is another pom xml. We need all the plugins over there. So here we don't have test .xml we don't have here. Where is that project? Let me just have a look. Test Maven project, here we have, here also we don't have. Where is that project? I'll do one thing. I'll have I have this project. From here I'll take the pom.xml file. Different plugins are there, so I'll copy. So we have build tag. From there we have this Maven compiler and some other compilers as well. So simply I'll copy this till here build, and what I'll do is not required. This is our pom.xml, and no need to touch the dependencies. Simply we have to write our we have to just copy paste the build over here. I'll show you. I'll give you this one in the when I'll create the post on this. I'll give this build, okay, build tag, whatever plugins are there. So simply we have gone through all the plugins, right? We need Maven compiler, Maven CFR plugin, and resources plugin. So this is how we can configure. This is compiler, and this is release plugin is not required as of now, so we'll remove that. And this is also not required. CFR plugin, this is required. Okay, and another plugin is a resources plugin, Maven resource plugin. So what I'll do, simply I'll copy this and let's have a look for Maven resource plugin. Resources plugin, so we'll get the plugin from here. So this is how you can set up Maven resources plugin, and yeah, compiler plugin. Here you can copy paste the resources plugin, and here we have inside this plugin, inside CFR plugin, because this is required to test your test cases, right? To execute your test cases, that is done using Maven CFR plugin. So inside that we have configuration tag. Inside we have suite XML. Here we have to provide the XML of our TestNG XML. Okay, so right click on TestNG XML properties, and simply you have to copy paste this XML, copy this XML, okay, and put it over here till here. Okay, so now this is done. Now here if you see any error or like this error on this project, there is no errors, okay, but here you can see one error is coming. So how to remove that? So simply right click, and here we have Maven and update project. Click OK, so that error will be gone. Okay. Now we have configured our pom.xml. So let me delete this one. Okay. Now we'll execute our test cases from command line, and that will execute the through TestNG.xml. Okay, so let me do that. Maven clean install. So simply enter. Now here you can see build is success, and all 5 test cases got executed. Though they are not in particular order, but they are executed successfully. So this is how you can configure your suite XML in your pom.xml, and because this is very much important when you configure, when you integrate your Maven project with Jenkins, then it is required. Okay, so let me just recap what we have done so far today. So we have gone through Maven Life Cycle. So there are 5 stages: clean, compile, test, package, and install. And we have seen different compilers have been used to process all these steps. Okay, and we have seen different commands. We have created a Maven project, and we have executed Maven project through command line as well as through Eclipse, and there are different commands used. Okay, so we have Maven clean, Maven compiler, Maven package, Maven install, Maven test, Maven Maven clean install, and this is to skip the test cases. Okay, and another thing you can do, this is also we have seen. So if we right click and run as, here you can see all the different commands over here through Eclipse. So manually you can run your test cases from here. So we have Maven install, Maven test. So let's execute test case one more time from Eclipse. So Maven test. So here you can see build is success, and it executes all the test cases successfully. And guys, I'll talk about integration with Jenkins later on. That is CI tool Jenkins. Okay, and before that, I'll discuss some of other Selenium WebDriver topics which are still remaining. So these are the different topics: Selenium headless browser testing, how to take screenshots, how to handle cookies in Selenium WebDriver. Okay, and how to select date from date picker, how to find all broken links using Selenium WebDriver, how to handling dynamic web table, and how to use log4j in your test and your project. So these are the different topics still remaining. So first I'll go through all these topics, and then I'll come back to Maven. We'll see the integration Jenkins plus Git and GitHub. Okay, Maven, Jenkins and GitHub integration, will look into it. And later on, sorry, before that, I'll explain the POM, page object model, and data-driven framework. So what is page object model, what is page factory, and how to handle data-driven test cases. Okay, and how to read the data from Excel file using Apache POI or JXL. Okay, read and write, will look into it. And yeah, extend report is also important. So we'll go through this, and later on we'll talk about Jenkins plus Git and GitHub integration. Okay, and like Maven, we have other build tool as well. We have Ant and we have Gradle. So probably we'll if I get the time, then definitely I'll cover those two topics as well, two other build tools. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. Have a nice day. If you are new to my channel, then please subscribe. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.